It's Sageism, but you can call me Sage. Hey, YouTube fam. So, just a quick heads up. This video, I just posted it on Instagram actually, and I wanted to share it with y'all because I realized my YouTube fam can benefit from this too, hearing my story. As I mentioned in the video you're about to see, sometimes hearing someone else's story and seeing yourself in it can be healing for you too. And so just keep that in mind as you're watching this video. If you can't stand the format of this and decide not to watch it, I don't blame you because I'm normally the same way. But for those of you that'll stick around until the end, just know that I adore you so much and that you got this. Wherever you are in your journey, whether you're just starting, whether you've been on your spiritual journey for a while, or if you're struggling mentally with some things, just know that I'm holding you energetically in a space of healing. I am sending so much strength and encouragement to you because you are so powerful. You are so energetic, and I want you to know your full capabilities, man. This is why I started the Sociality membership, and after watching this, if you feel inclined to join, the link will be in the bio. But much love to you, and here's the video. I hope today has been everything that you need. I hope you've had peace, love, and abundance so far today. I just wanted to come on here and quickly share my story because sometimes healing for someone else can just be in experiencing validation through someone else's story, and maybe you'll see a little bit of yourself in my life. So just a little bit of background. I pretty much grew up knowing that I wanted to be a doctor, and it wasn't until about high school that I realized specifically that I wanted to be a psychiatrist. And the reason was because that I was struggling mentally myself very, very much. I had severe depression, I had a lot of anxiety, and not too many people knew about that. I think I did a good job of hiding it and isolating myself and not really letting people in on the issues that I was having. But I wanted to be a psychiatrist because I wanted to help people heal from the exact thing that I was going through. And I figured that by being a psychiatrist, it would show other people that if I can overcome my own issues, then I can do it too. And a lot of that is what got me through those moments of, not wanting to be alive anymore and things like that, right? So I held on to that plan. I ended up making it to university, but that plan quickly fell away when I had my first psychiatrist appointment in my freshman year of college. And I went in with the expectation that it would be this healing, amazing experience, and that this person would help me finally take off these shackles of my depression and my life would get better, right? Well, that wasn't the case. That appointment really felt like a transactional moment of me telling him my issues and him just giving me medicine that was supposed to make me feel better. We didn't really talk in depth about my issues. We didn't go over past traumas. He was basically like, "What are you feeling? Oh, depressed? Okay, here you go. Here's some Lexapro." And that rattled me a lot because um, it really gave me the perception that psychiatry was not what I thought it was, and it felt like it was about money and that he didn't really care about how I felt. I mean, hindsight 2020, I can't base one interaction with one psychiatrist with the rest of the field, but that's how I felt at the time, and I hated being on that medicine. The contentment that I felt on it felt really synthetic, and I didn't feel like me, and it felt like it just felt wrong and I hated it. So it wasn't long that I got off of that. And as some of you may know, you don't just get off of medicine for your brain like that because it'll really mess you up. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got off that medicine and I had the biggest breakdown. I've never felt pain like that before. My chest hurt so much that all I could do was crumple down to the floor and pray to God to take this pain away, because I felt so broken and I felt so alone. Thank God my roommate didn't walk through the door on this, because she probably would have ran for help or something. I was in so much pain, and just remember praying to God, because I grew up Christian, and I was just like, please take my pain away. Like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't handle this. And when that moment of relief didn't come for me after praying, that really shook my faith, and I walked away from Christianity that night. And eventually I called my mother, and she talked me down from doing something crazy, right? But after that, things really changed for me. I lost all drive to stay in school, so I dropped out. And from that point on, I floated from job to job. At some point, I joined an MLM, and I really enjoyed it because it gave me that sense of purpose that I was craving to have. And one of the things that I really stuck with that MLM for is they would have these conferences quarterly or something like that. And when you get to a certain level in the MLM, you're allowed to speak on stage and tell your story. And when I would go to these conferences and I would see these ladies talk about what they've been through in their mental health, it resonated with me so much. And I would envision myself on that stage once again, talking to people. Like before, I wanted to be a psychiatrist and telling them, if I can do it, if someone who is as broken as me and sad and lonely as me can do it, then I promise you, you could do it. I used to visualize so much, I would just cry to myself, like, oh, being on that stage, I've made it, right? But I've never been a salesman, and in order to rise up in the ranks, you got to bring in money, and that part I was not doing, so that didn't work out for me either. So then I floated from job to job, eventually decided to go back to college because I thought I wanted to be a teacher, and I also really wanted to travel the world. So my plan was to become a teacher, get this degree, and then teach over the world. I mean, all over the world, and live the dream, right? And quickly realized that I did not want to be a teacher because I'm not built for working with children. And after that, I just really continued to struggle. I did my best to just survive from day to day. Those of you who deal with the depression, you know what I'm talking about. It just every day is a struggle. And you just do your best to find the good and make yourself be social and make yourself do the things you know you should do so you don't stay in that hole. And the turning point for me was really when I got into this toxic relationship, and we were both pretty broken people. We were both dealing with depression, and we just brought out the ugly in each other. And I became someone that I did not recognize, and that scared me a lot. I felt like I wasn't in control of my body. I had no control of my emotions. I had no control over my thoughts, my actions. And I always akined it to feeling like I was not in the passenger seat and it was somebody that I did not like in the driver's seat, and there was nothing I could do about it. And after that relationship ended, I vowed to myself that I would never, ever, ever, ever be that person again. I felt so disempowered. I hated it. And so I began looking up how to control your thoughts, and I came across meditation. And then after learning meditation, I started learning more about attachment styles, and somehow that got me into shadow work because I was extremely codependent, and I got into shadow work, and then that turned into doing full moon rituals, and then connecting with my ancestors, and connecting more with my spirit guides, astrology. I started getting into more occult studies, and that led me to where I am today. And the point of me telling you all of that is spirituality genuinely changed my life. I have no idea where I would be without it. And it wasn't even, it's funny, throughout this whole time, I didn't really talk to God because me and God was still beefing in my mind a little bit. It wasn't until the last year that I started realizing, okay, that's a wound that I need to heal. But the way I saw it was spirituality taught me to harness the power of my mind and my personal power. And that's exactly why I do what I do. I overcame my depression because of what I've learned. I now experience more peace even when I'm struggling. I'm not saying that I don't have bad days or that I don't still experience sadness or hardships, but I have this innate ability now to nurture myself and just by reflex see the silver lining in everything. And that is such that allows me to have so much peace. It allows me to bring in so much abundance that before I couldn't have. And it's all because I've shifted my mindset and I understand things on a deeper level than life happening to me. I don't see life that way anymore. Life responds to me. And I really do what I do every day on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram to help you, again, coming back to showing people that if I can do it, so can you. I want to help as many people realize that you have so much power and you just don't know it because we have been programmed our whole entire lives to not know it. My job is to free you from the prison of your mind. Because when we experience mental illness, not all, because I know there are some cases where you do need medicine and you do need to get that outside help. But a lot of it is us knowing our true potential. And any way that I can relieve suffering because I know what it's like and I would not wish that on my worst enemy, I want to help you do the same thing. Even with the Soultuality membership I didn't start it just as another way to make money because I can make money doing many things. I'm one of those people that it doesn't take me long to learn a skill. I'm pretty adept at learning things. I started it because it's what made sense to me to provide you with the tools that you can use to empower yourself. Something that's going to help you go from, okay, this is where I am. How do I get to where I want to be? And a lot of times, what's blocking us from making that reality shift is something that has to do with us in here. If we're even wanting to just experience more joy or to be able to have better relationships in our life or to have that connection with ourselves where we trust ourselves and we're not overcritical and our intuition is on point, right? I just wanted to provide you with the tools to be able to do that, to empower you to free yourself. I'm not the secret ingredient to anything. It's you, and it's always been you. And my job in my eyes is to help you realize that. So that is my story. Let me know if you can relate to any of that I shared. I know this ended up being, I said quick, but this ended up being a little longer than I expected, but that's my journey. That's how I got here. And from shadow work to learning about astrology to doing EFT, I even do Reiki for myself. It's been a wild ride, and I want to help you get started on that too. So let me know if any of this resonated. And yeah, thank you for being here and listening to my story.